Welcome to Scream Queens Road Trip Podcast. That's your final girl, Miss Justine over there.
Oh, hey, Soul Survivor, Mr. Josh to the left.
That would be me. And we are on a road trip. And we're going to talk about horror movies today, particularly The Forest. And why are we talking about The Forest today, Justine?
Well, because we happen to be visiting Shenandoah National Forest here in Virginia.
Dear Virginia.
And we just wanted to talk about a movie that was so dear to us.
It's so dear. Actually, the movie's not very dear to us, but the national park is. We've been coming here for years. I've been coming here since I was a little kid, and then I've been dragging along Justine with me the last 10 years up to...
It's been a long time.
Up Skyline Drive. They have this beautiful, just winding drive. I know.
Yes.
It's exactly what it is. You drive for like 80 miles
it's
or
like,
more?
oh my gosh, maybe 100.
Through some of the most
maybe
beautiful...
1,000. Maybe it's 1,000,000.
Oh my God, she might be right. But you drive through the most amazing views of your life, just through the Appalachians. Like right now, I'm looking to my right quickly because I'm driving.
Yeah.
And it's stunning outside the window.
Gorgeosity.
There are clouds kissing the mountains right now.
I got mist in my face.
I'm seeing the Blue Ridge in the background and the bright greens to my left.
Bright greens to your left?
The dimensions are just out of this world.
Yeah, it's like in 3D.
Yeah, it's kind of like looking at a painting come to life.
It's like 3D.
But we're gonna go hiking, and there's some guy that just pulled over in a place you're not supposed to pull over when they give you ample places to pull over.
This is why we got to keep our eyes on the road.
Yeah, sorry. People are trying to make this a hospital trip podcast.
They're trying to make this a haunted forest.
Like what we're going to talk about. But yeah, while we're up here, we're heading to Hawksbill Gap. It's apparently like the highest hiking point in the park.
The summit?
Hawksbill Summit, yeah. But the whole, isn't it Hawksbill Gap what we're hiking?
I have no idea. I just wrote down the Hawksbill Summit.
And then we go to the summit, I think is, the highest point.
I'm so excited, because it is the highest point.
And hopefully we don't come across any Yurei while we are here. I don't think this forest is haunted. We, kind of on purpose picked a non-haunted forest to talk about the Haunted Forest movie, so...
Yeah, I didn't want to
Take
get
that.
too, art imitating life or life imitating art, whatever the fuck. I was happy to just, come visit here. We're going to do an amazing little hike. It's going to be adorable. Let's get into this movie. It's
2016's The Forest, directed by...
Jason Zada.
And I looked it up for the record. He is a Westerner. He is a white dude. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe he might be Japanese, but he's not.
Nope.
So, another strike against this movie.
Honestly didn't really know a lot about, the film prior, so I just read, the IMDb, trivia.
Yeah, I feel like we're a little late to this movie. We watched it, maybe a year ago?
Yeah.
For the first time.
Or was it when we went to
maybe it was when we were in the
cabin
in January.
Yeah, so maybe it hadn't even been a year.
And we decided maybe it'd be a good one to talk about today. It's a movie that has its...
This movie has amazing potential. It just
flopped.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Let's begin.
We have Natalie Dormer, and then we're done. Don't know anybody else. So if you know Natalie Dormer from Game of Thrones, The Tudors, a couple other movies.
I'm a Marjorie stan from Game of Thrones. I wanted her to win the Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
I thought her character Marjorie played a really great Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was that was his little chess queen that he was
loved me some Marjorie.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her, and then when she got blowed the fuck up in the Citadel or whatever.
You were like, oh, I guess that's not happening for her.
She's not winning that Game of Thrones.
And if you didn't know that about her, you were really late to that Game of Thrones.
Spoiler alert.
And then she was like Anne Boleyn in The Tudors, and she played, a very just kind of rounded Anne. She wasn't an ugly version or the one that has the sixth finger. She was I am going to place myself again, a queen placing herself at the top.
That's right.
This is Natalie Dormer's MO.
And I gotta say, in this movie, she does her best. She does all that she can with this thin script, with this wooden, weird dialogue. That's just a lot of her saying, Jess.
Jess?
Okay, Jess.
Oh my God, Jess.
Jess.
But
Grandma.
Jess.
Jess.
Oh.
Grandma, Jess.
These are lines anyone would say.
What would Grandma think about this, Jess?
Grandma.
Jess.
We're just going to call her Grandma, too.
And then why Jess is talking about her grandma, if you listen to the last episode, the lady on the water skis comes in and says,
Save me, Grandma!
Yeah, and it just comes out of nowhere. It really ruins the
yeah,
atmosphere of the
because
movie.
also it's like the forest and there wasn't really any big bodies of water, so we don't understand how like the water skier from Jaws 3 made it all the way over to Japan's Mount Fuji. It was like, Simon, you did Spirit Yurei!
So the movie starts with
a woman running.
Yeah, and you kind of see that's Natalie Dormer. You don't really know what's up, but you just see
she's
her
like,
like
stop! Help!
And then she wakes up in bed, and it's all just a bad dream, you think.
Or is it?
Or is there's a premonition? We don't know yet.
We have no idea, but we'll find out in like 2 seconds. It's gonna like let us know. She gets up out of bed, packs her bags, and heads to Japan.
And her husband's like, what's going on? She's like, Jess needs me. I got a call. She's gone into the suicide forest. But she's saying all this like very almost calmly, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But also, again, Natalie Dormer is probably taking direction from the director.
Yeah.
He's probably not saying like,
I want you to act really, like just like frantic right now.
yeah,
and
or
if she
surprised that you got this phone call. But maybe that's part of the character. She's not surprised that her sister.
Yeah, it's like,
done
hey,
this
I'm
again.
there to like save my sister every time.
The husband does have lines
relaxed,
that make
yeah.
you think like, oh, this is happening, and he
Yes.
says like, oh, this is another one of her stunts, or
Yeah, and we'll find out that this is also not her first attempt at taking her life, but what I love about it is like she wakes up, she packs her bag, she's off to Japan. Like
she's like, and we're off.
And like I love that's just like
And you
okay,
get,
and she's in Tokyo, and we get to see a lot of like the little peppered in parts of Tokyo, her going and having a quick little bite to eat, and I want to go to Tokyo one day.
Yeah, you get some nice shots of Tokyo, but like maybe one or two. It's not really even peppered in that much. It's like you see her in the cab, and then all of a sudden she's out in the middle of nowhere in a small little village that was probably filmed in LA. Who knows?
I didn't even look to see all of the locations.
Yeah,
I know she went to Japan for like 2 weeks because I read that in the trivia because she wanted to visit the forest.
She went to the real forest and she stepped off the path like 5 inches, and the guide she was with was like, I'm not stepping off.
Yeah, it's like that old Johnson & Johnson commercial, like, not my baby.
Not my baby.
He was like, not my foot.
Yeah.
Not stepping in, not my 5 inches.
Not stepping out. I'm stepping in.
I'm stepping. I'm just staying. I'm staying. I'm not stepping. That's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to step into this forest.
Holding my ground.
Natalie, you're not going to make me do it.
How dare you, Natalie?
Okay, so she's in Japan and she's made it to the little
It's her hotel.
Well, it's at the visitor center. No, it's not her
first
hotel.
She goes to the
visitor center first, and we meet that little lady who keeps telling her, like, stay on the path, do not go off it. She goes down into the basement.
Yeah, she's like, I'm looking for my sister. And she's like, oh yeah, we have her. And she's like, what? She's like, yeah, come with me. This is how she's going to break it to her, by the way, because we find out down in the basement is like where they have a lot of the dead bodies that they've pulled from the trees or whatnot in the suicide forest.
Yeah, okay, hold on. When she gets there, though, she goes to the school and meets with we need to talk about that first, because that's like, it's like she gets there, she has her night in Tokyo, and then she goes to the school and the kids like react to her because they think that she's actually her twin sister who's gone missing, and
one of the girls
like
screams and freaks out. She's like, we thought you were a ghost, we thought you were a Yurei, we thought you came back from the dead.
Okigahara forest.
Yeah, it's like they all got wind that she had gone into the Okinawa forest.
Okigahara, and it's because she had taken them to the Okigahara forest just like the week before, and her sister's like, why would you guys go to some suicide forest? And the principal's like, it's a part of our culture, and it's a part of the mountain.
Yeah, she says Mount Fuji is a part of our history, and the
this is just one
Okigahara forest is just is part of it.
She's
so
like, sorry, we used to take old grandmas and blind people and leave them out there,
So-
and now we allow people to just venture off and take their lives.
So
out
now
there.
we take the school children and leave them out there to fend for
Yeah,
themselves.
it's like if they can make it, sink or swim. All right,
If they're really pissing me off that day, I load them up and ship them off into the forest. Okay.
You gotta go to the forest. See you later.
Whatever happens, happens.
But so she tells her that and then takes her to her sister's like dormitory area because her sister teaches English to children in Tokyo, wanting to learn English, wanting to be international continental motherfuckers.
Wow.
But she also finds like that her sister was on some medications for like anxiety. And that there's other stuff like camping equipment, even though I was like, okay, you're gonna find her camping equipment, but you also found some, okay, whatever, and books about just being sad.
And a book, and she finds a lot of like books about the what can I say?
Okigahara.
Okigahara. You have it written right in front of you. I'm driving. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Okigahara Forest.
Just the forest.
I mean, no disrespect.
No. Okigahara Forest, or as Josh will now call it, the forest.
The forest.
He will just fucking call it the
So
forest.
she finds all these pamphlets and stuff about the forest.
Yeah. And she's like pamphleted.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna pamphlet it up. Pamphlets equals suicide.
And
she
has
said.
her
It's
little
like,
flashback there where it's like her and her sister, even though they're never in the same shot.
It's like maybe she's just interested in the forest.
Yeah, I do like the flashback that they
The
have.
flashback is ridiculous.
They're talking about grandma, but it's like the flashback of the two of them, but they're never in the same shot because I guess he didn't take that class on twin. Like how did he didn't have
Twins 101 and film. I missed that class too.
It's like it just kind of reminds me of what's the movie with
Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, like.
Oh my god, I love that movie, but right now it's blanking.
And then also other
the
twins.
One set
like,
they're like really country, and the other's like high end, and they. It's so funny. Anyways, they missed that.
He didn't take that class on being able to like edit them in together.
Yeah, and it's really. It's so like forced too. The scene's like a lot of like Jess, Jess, you crazy girl,
and like waiting, very patient kind of conversation. Like, oh, those are Grandpa's dead ashes, and then it like cuts to, and she's like, you can sync it up to be. I don't know what it is about it. It's just so clunky.
Yeah, the
in a
editing
way.
is pretty. It makes it very stale. Everything about it, like everything is a beat too long.
Yeah.
It just comes out really weird, like you said, like that.
Yeah, he just never graduated from the Parent Trap class, is what I think I was kind of, like the Parent Trap class, like he couldn't ever like realize, like how do you have simultaneous, like, and we're talking about the Parent Trap from like the 60s, right? So like that, they figured it out, like how do we have one lady be twins?
Haley Mills knew how to do it.
Yeah, she knew how to do it. And how could she play, I'm sorry, but yeah, Natalie didn't have anything really, like, her hair color was different for Sarah and Jess. Like, same, like,
moles.
Dialect, like, not even, same moles on her face in the same place. And then her cadence, just like how she spoke, exact same. They were like, no, really, we're identical twins. They wanted to sell that connection.
Yeah, how they feel
so
each
well.
other.
Yeah, like we just know when one of us is alive or dead. I'm like, how have you practiced that? How have you practiced I know when she's alive and dead? Like, typically people only get that one shot. Like,
she knows. She knows when she's sick. She knows when she's hurt. It's like a feeling. It's almost like a vibration, like a
in her
sound.
ear.
Oh my
But
god, I'm trying to get around a bike rider, but I can't see, so I'm risking my life right now to get around this bike rider.
But good luck, bike rider. Be safe.
Okay, our game of roulette, Russian roulette,
It's
just
now
worked out
over.
fine.
Okay, but yeah, so we get this like not to like it's like supposed to give you connection, this like a little bit of exposition, why she's in Tokyo to begin with, the conversation that she's having with her sister, this flashback. It's like, I'm going to Tokyo to start my life again.
I'm starting my life over, Jeff.
It'll give you an excuse to come visit, and you better.
She's like, I'll give me an excuse to get on an airplane. You better.
And then we see Sarah going to the mountain in this like train, and she's
and there's Mount Fuji
looking out forlorn, and it's a pretty shot.
You see the suburbs of Japan, of Tokyo.
Yes, Queen. We
It's
see
so cool.
suburbia.
And that's what I want more of. I want, like, in this movie, like, the real mythology, the real...
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like Japan when
No.
you're watching it. It feels like...
He was like, let's go for a week.
They
and
were
do some
here in the
stop shots.
Appalachians making a movie.
Yes.
You know? Like, even though they throw in some Japanese actors, you don't ever really feel like you get any of that culture in this movie.
No.
Besides, like, some of the hotel has, like, some touches, you know, that has, like, the sliding paper doors
Yes.
and whatnot, but...
And then we see our, like, you know, Japanese schoolgirls, like, in their little uniform.
Walking
and,
across the
you know,
road.
like...
And I guess that's supposed to be scary that they cross the road.
Coming out of the... Yeah,
forest.
there's not really too many jump scares, but when there are jump scares, they're not good. They're just not very well, like...
And there's a lot of things in this
executed.
movie that are just straight up, well, cliches, but also, like, taking from other movies, rip-offs.
Yes.
Like the shot where she goes down and she sees her sister's tent set up downstairs. Is this before she leaves, or is she in Japan already when she sees this part?
Oh, it's before she leaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she goes downstairs, and the tent is set up like in her basement, and it's glowing, and you see the silhouette of someone sitting inside it,
And you're like,
she
oh,
unzips it, and
goodness.
it's just a little girl. You get maybe that it's Jess when she was little,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden Jess's face turns crazy. But to me, it's an exact ripoff of The Sixth Sense.
Oh, absolutely.
With the little girl in the
Yes.
tent, and when she starts throwing up, it's almost that same kind of scare or jump scare, down to the beat of like her looking and then something happening. Every time I see it, I'm like, Sixth Sense did it 10 times better.
Yep. Well, I love in The Sixth Sense when he gets that flashlight turned on and it focuses on her and she's
Yeah.
oh, God.
And
And that's a good ghost story
Mhm.
right there. Okay. So now she's checking in at the visitor center, and we have this nice little lady who's going to tell us over and over again, like, you don't, because she's asking her, like, I want to hire a guide, and she's like, no, you don't really want to go in there. You're
well, we
very
need to
sad.
finish what happens
Let
down
me
the
take
basement.
you down here to the basement
Yeah.
because you want to see that your sister's here.
Yeah.
And
first she doesn't say, like, your sister's down here dead, or, like, we bring in the dead. She explains all this after they're downstairs. Like, oh, yeah, this is where they bring the bodies, and look under that sheet. That might be your sister.
well, yeah, she's like, here, let me take you and show you her. But then she gets called back upstairs, so she has this moment where she's down there with all of the dead bodies, and maybe there's a dead body that's breathing because the forest is already acting up. Oh, God, save us!
Pulling her in.
And thank goodness it's not her sister. I would never do this. I'd stand there and wait for that lady to come back and be like, can you show me a toe or something? Like, I don't want to see the face. I'll figure it out. We're twins. I got a connection. I'll see her toe. I'll know it's her or not. Like, she pulls back that, and it's just like this decaying, gross, like,
it's nasty
lady body who wasn't breathing. We just saw she was, but we can tell the force already playing tricks on us. It's being trixies.
It's a trickster. She's so silly.
And so she leaves.
Silly forest.
Another girl who's outside the visitor center is like, you don't need to be going in there because the forest preys on sad people, and you're really sad. There's a few people that mention to Sarah, you're really sad.
And they keep mentioning the Yurei, and this is the only bit of, like, Japanese mythology that we get, and that's it. That's the only thing we're ever kind of told about the forest. Like, the Yurei, if you're sad, you'll be sad, and it's going to give you a reason to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Don't go in there. Don't go off the path if you're sad. That's it. And I know there's more to it.
Yeah, because it's like a really, really, really long history there.
Mm-hmm.
And the forest just has to have more to it than just
kind of at every turn, it feels like a missed opportunity, because a horror movie set in the suicide forest could be amazing.
Yes.
And this, it just doesn't go there.
Nope.
It plays to its PG-13-ness.
You're so right. You're so right. But let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah goes to the hotel and checks in, and she goes to have a drink, and very quickly we meet Aiden.
And she's like, hi, Jess. And he's like, no, my name's Aiden. She's like, Jess.
Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Well, he walks up to her and is like, have I seen you before? And he tells her immediately, like, oh, I was just using that as a line. But she's like, yes, you did 4 days ago. You fucked my sister. Where is she? Do you have her in a gutter? I mean, just
And
0
he's like,
to 100.
Again, I never really met your sister. I was just saying that to like get to know you.
It's like a
Kind of
pickup
like,
line.
did we go to the same school? Did you go to space camp? You know,
Yeah.
whatever. You find out he went to space camp. That's the most interesting thing in this movie. Is I'm like, oh, I want to see
was
the
that
story
like?
about him at space camp.
And he writes for a Australian travel magazine, which, I mean, it's 2016. Really? You're writing for a travel magazine?
That magazine's thriving. Maybe it's like more
Online?
than online,
Yeah,
but they still
hopefully.
publish, you know.
Yeah, and what do they call those online? When they're not, it's not a website. It's not a web. It's a, oh, I forget. But it's like, yeah, when it's a magazine or a newspaper, they have
Or
another
online edition.
Yeah, it's like they have something specific because they're not just like a website. But maybe he does that. He takes pictures. He speaks fluent Japanese, and he wants to record.
But then does he ever speak Japanese in this movie?
Yes, he does
He
several
does?
times.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yeah, he does, and he talks to Michi, who's going to be the person that helps him in the forest. He speaks to him in Japanese quite a bit. Okay, anyways, so he goes and tells her, hey, like, I really think your story is compelling about your probably dead sister that you can't come to terms with, but I can't, like, allow you to go into that
And
forest
she's like,
alone.
well, thank God, buddy, that you don't own me. Allow me. Fuck you, dude. Feminism. Hate you. Fuck you. Like, she just goes off on him.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't add in, you know, all of the like the finger play that she was doing, like flipping him off and then like sticking like her 2 fingers in between her tongue, and like she was getting vulgar. She quickly dismissed the PG-13 rating that the movie was supposed to have and was like, "Fuck your grandma!" We were like, "Wait, hold on, the water ski lady is back again," and she's pissed.
Anyway, but yeah, so what's his name? Aiden is like, yo, girl, your story's compelling. Let me write about it, and I'll get you in this forest with me and my friend Michi, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
He
think
goes
about that?
on walkabouts like every month to go find people that have killed themselves.
It's a service he provides.
It's for free. He does it just simply out of the goodness of his heart, and
because he's a little creepy.
I think, I was about to say, like, and I think
we're just hitting a breathtaking view. It's so dear.
I think he's a part of the Yurei.
Yeah, maybe he is a Yurei. No, Michi's kind of like the most sympathetic character in this movie.
Yeah, he's always the one telling him, like, nope, we shouldn't go this way, we should go that way.
Yeah, he's the voice of reason.
You know.
They should have all listened to Michi this whole time. I mean, Aiden tries to, but then he gets caught up and like, well, I gotta stick around with this.
Yeah, this girl,
bozo.
she's got boobs, so.
She won't stop saying, Jess.
And so what he's thinking is like, at the thought of having twins. That's what he's thinking. Because he's disgusting and despicable.
He's like, and twins!
And she's like, well, thank God you're not my man!
Fuck you!
Fuck you, bitch!
Up yours with a twirling lawnmower.
Oh man. Okay, so Michi, upon meeting Sarah, so that night though, we gotta talk about how she's like trying to call her boyfriend, her husband, sorry, she can't get through.
He's
and
not
then
answering.
the old lady, there's an old lady who's trying to get into her like little room, but this is supposed to be scary, guys.
But
like,
she has like a plastic face or something.
Yes.
It's bizarre. It's a little creepy. Like she's roaming the hall at night, she hears a noise, she's hearing, like you said, someone going, Sarah, or something. Like that's a lot of this movie is like her hearing someone saying Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And like
and it sounding like Jess.
Yeah, and in a whispered tone. Because you know she's saying Jess. So Sarah or Jess is always saying Sarah. Sarah.
I imagine that Natalie's just like in a recording studio doing that, like
all her ADR just going
Jess, Sarah. The director's like, actually, could you give like a little bit more breath at the end?
Breathier.
With the A.
Breathier.
Sarah.
More breath.
Sarah. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And he's like, actually, could you enunciate that J? Jess! Jess!
Perfect, Natalie. You nailed it, bitch.
You got this, girl. Okay.
You
All
are
right.
the HBIC.
So she gets scared by this grandma lady who's trying to get into her little hotel room, but she got lost, and it's just like it's supposed to be a scary little moment in the movie, but other than just, I guess I'd be frightened of the lighting and the fact that she's wandering, knocking on everybody's room, trying to get into everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that scary. Pardon me, sorry, hashtag sorry, not sorry, it wasn't that scary. Now we're gonna go to the mountain, and Michi's like, I really do not think that you need to do this, Sarah. I don't. I think that you're sad. Sarah is sad. Sarah is sitting sad by the seashore.
And she's like, no, I'm not. I am Peter Piper eating my pickle, and I'm going into that forest, whether you like it or not, Mr. Man.
Mr. Man, now lead me there. And can you please tell me some important things I need to know? Because we get a lot of like, oh, when there's this kind of backpack, it means that people are not sad, they're just camping. And
if they take their tent, it means they're maybe just thinking about it, and they might not go ahead with it.
Yeah, he sees a tent, Michi does, and like rushes over to it and is like talking to somebody in there, I guess trying to be like, hey, are you okay in there? And he comes back saying like, I think the guy's gonna be okay. And I'm like, I worried about that guy for the rest of the movie. I was like, I hope he was okay and decided like life is gonna be worth it.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, I feel like this movie doesn't take suicide very seriously. I mean, it doesn't, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. No, from the first phone call that we hear Sarah receive from the police, where they're like, hey, we saw your sister go into the forest, and like that forest is like for people that want to kill themselves, so we just like left her in there.
And we thought we'd just call and tell you.
And so we just want you to know, in case in a few weeks you're like, hey, where's my sister? She went in that forest.
There's not a lot of reverence for it, and there's also not a lot of reverence for the forest, which I know in Japan there is.
Yeah.
It just seems like, we're taking the school kids, we're hiking around, Maybe they do, I don't know. But it just seems a little, how it's portrayed in this movie, just a little,
if you're sad,
like just there for plot.
Yeah.
Almost.
If you're sad and you want to commit suicide, here's your forest.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah.
And we're going to use it as a plot, and there'll be a twist at the end.
Yeah. Because it's a plot twist.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so where are we at? Okay, so after a few drinks, Aiden, though, had asked Sarah kind of like about her family, and she's like, oh, my parents are dead, and my grandma raised us. And he's like, oh, well, tell me about like your dead parents. She's like, oh, it's fine, like they died one day after seeing a movie. Actually, it's weird, the drunk driver, he hit like right outside our driveway, and
they were just sprawled out.
My sister saw them dead out there.
Sarah saw them first, and that's why I always feel a responsibility, Sarah, because she saw our dead parents Jess,
mm-hmm.
because she saw our parents first, and I should have seen that with her. It's like one of the only twin things we did not experience together.
I hid my eyes.
And she's had to deal with that her whole life, so I always come running when she needs me, because
she saw our dead parents.
She saw dead parents.
Yeah, but we also know that story is a lie, because as she's saying it, we're seeing what really happened.
And it was a murder-suicide. Her father killed the mother and shot himself in the basement. Mm-hmm. So while she's telling the story, you're seeing them go into the basement, not outside. So I remember the first time watching, being like, the car crash, why is this like a covered what? They're in the basement?
Were you not paying close attention?
Well, I probably was falling asleep. I think we were doing a puzzle, remember the first time
it's just like, here she is telling us, but then we're seeing it on the screen, and we did kind of piece together, like, oh, she's lying to us.
I mean, I get it by the end you do, but at first when you're watching, you're like, where are they going? I thought it happened outside. Where are they going?
The dead people were outside.
Down further into the house.
Oh, he's just going to shoot her
there's a
instead.
gun.
Okay.
We're hearing bangs, not like car wheels and tires screeching.
Because it's like her sister and her are really young, probably, I mean, maybe like 7 or 8.
So she's maybe been able
watching TV
to believe it and tell herself that.
Yeah, like she doesn't really want to keep reliving the fact that her parents had a murder-suicide in the basement, but that's really what happened.
And maybe grandma told her this is what happens and she didn't really see it, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they were both sitting there at the TV, and the gunshots went off. She just didn't go down the steps to see the dead body. I think she's just lying to him, and like she knows exactly what really happened. Okay, so they're in the forest and they've been walking around, and they do happen upon a dead body, and it's just hanging there.
And she runs smack into him. We get another lame jump scare.
Yeah, and they have to like take it down, and I don't know if
Michi's like, I'm gonna write down the coordinates so someone can come get it. And yada yada.
Yeah, we got to cut down the body, and it's also like while this is happening, like while they're all distracted with cutting the body down, Sarah's my ears are popping. Sorry guys.
Sarah is like, I have a feeling. She's like, if we're just wandering and we can take any trail we want, let's take this one because I got a feeling it's pulling me.
And by feeling, I mean the wind is rustling leaves in that direction, and I'm getting a little lightheaded.
My nipples are getting hard.
Camera's spinning to kind of signify that I am getting the spins because I'm drunk up here, guys. I brought my moonshine.
The camera work is telling us that I'm feeling a connection. So is the audio. So let's go this way. And of course, like 5 seconds down the trail, she spots the tent.
Yeah, her
like,
sister's tent.
Oh my God, that's her tent. You were right, Michi.
It is her tent. Tent.
She brought a tent.
Tent.
If she brought a tent, that means she was only contemplating suicide.
When she touched her tits,
she might not have gone through with it. Just like you said, Michi.
Michi.
Jess.
You're right. Sarah.
Jess.
So they're there, they're at the tent, and Michi's like, great, we have found the tent. Stop saying tit, Sarah. And she's like, I'm just really excited. And she's rubbing her nipples. And Aiden.
And she just starts going, tit, 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 tit. And they're like, okay, enough. She's like, it's cool, I got it out of my system now.
I'll wait here for my sister. And Aiden's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Said no one ever. But I'll stay here with you anyways.
And Michi's like, I've been telling you, it's getting dark. We got to go. We'll come back in the morning. We'll leave a note. She's like, are you crazy? A note?
Are you serious?
A note.
You
want me to leave a note? How dare you, sir?
I came 6,000 miles.
Do you know how many kilometers that is?
I don't.
Because I don't. I'm an American.
I'm an English actress, though, but I'm playing an American. And I want to say kilometers, but I won't. This is serious, Michi. Oh, my ears are popping again. It's actually hurting. Sorry.
She's having some pain.
Ow! We're getting high up in this
open your jaw,
elevation.
girl. Open your jaw, girl.
Pop your jaw. Open it.
Pop it. Pop it. Pop it.
Do you think that they had these problems going in the mountain area?
They did. They just brought their gum.
She was like, Michi, my ears are popping. And Michi was like twerking. He's like, this is how you stop your ears from popping. You just twerk. Twerk to the Yurei. Twerk to the Yurei.
You pull your back out twerking. Then you don't worry about your ears hurting.
But Aiden decides to stay with Sarah so she's safe. And Michi's like, I don't think this is a good idea, but also I'm not going to stay the night here. So if you guys, you're making your own adult choices.
He's like, I'm no one of authority, so you do what you want. I'm leaving. See you in the morning. I'll come back for you.
I'll come. And he's like telling them, like, stay here. Don't fucking move. Don't you dare fucking move, you bitches.
You sons of American whores. And they're like, okay, Michi.
Yeah, fine.
Back off. And so Aiden that night is like, hey, boo, you can have the tent. I don't want you. You can have the tent. No, I'll sleep out here. I'll be a gentleman. And she's like, a caveman and a gentleman, because you got our fire lit. And you're lighting my fire right now.
Oh my God, I'm burning up,
but
baby.
I'll go sleep in that tent by myself because it'll make you more of a suspect and a red herring later.
Yes. Because I won't know if you're the one playing with my tit.
So she's like, I'm going to go into the tent and tent.
And I fall asleep.
And then she wakes up.
Because
she hears a noise. It's very Blair Witch. Here's our Blair Witch moment.
Yep.
Someone attacking the tent. And Natalie Dormer's giving her best breathy performance.
Ever. Jess! Sarah! Jess!
Sarah! So someone's fucking with her at the tent. And it's really not that scary. You get like one or two like hands hitting the tent, and then she jumps out of the tent and Aiden's asleep.
Oh, it's not him? This whole time I thought it was him.
But they set him up because before she actually goes to sleep, she's in the tent by herself, and there's this shot of Aiden, and it's this slow zoom into his face looking at the tent, almost trying to make him sinister or
Yeah.
a suspect.
Again, like a little red herring. He has like said something too that night about like a poem that she was telling him about how like her sister had committed or tried to commit suicide a couple times before, and that she just really wants to be like her favorite poet. And this poet is like kind of obscure, like niche. Like she even says like, oh, how can you recite this poetry from like junior year? This is like just trying to point out like, oh, like I think you know my sister.
You know this poem, so you must know my sister.
A part of me is like,
my sister reads poetry to everybody.
Yeah, like, okay, so maybe he does know, maybe he also,
I'm sorry, Sarah. If he was fucking your sister, he wasn't listening to her poetry, okay?
And if he did kill her, again, he wasn't listening to her favorite poetry. Like, he probably just also knows that poet, bitch. There's a lot of, like, how do you know that? Wait, what? You found the ranger station just now? How dare you? You saved my life, but fuck off!
And I get that it's supposed to be the forest just fucking, messing with her head, and it's just making everything unclear to her, but it just makes her, as a character, seem just crazy.
Yes.
Because when we don't know her character that well at all, we get her waking up from a nightmare and going straight to Japan. And then we get these stupid little flashbacks of her and her sister that are awkwardly edited, where, like you said, it's like, Jazz,
she's
everything's just so, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, she's not a reliable narrator or whatever.
And so the mystery is kind of foiled here, because you just think she's crazy. I, for one, never really thought Aiden was a bad guy, because they set it up so much.
Yeah.
And also set up the fact that the only thing we know about this forest is the forest will make you crazy. The forest will make you think bad things about people. If you're sad, it'll make you want to kill. That's the only thing we know. So all the things she's going through, you're like, well, it's the forest.
Yeah, like it's leading you to want to kill yourself. I still don't think that yeah. Over and over again, that we'll get these moments of, oh, is it the forest or is it her? And yeah, it's both.
And we get more and more of the Sarah. Like, just whispers in the forest is what this movie is.
They should have called it
Whispers
that.
In the forest.
In the forest.
But, so next morning, here we go. They decide to leave and not listen and wait for Michi.
Well, that night she had found somebody in the forest so she got out of her tent and Aiden was asleep, and then the forest was calling her, and so she went out into the forest, and then there is, what's her name? Hoshiko.
No, this is alright.
Well, I wrote it down. Hoshiko. Hoshiko. And she's like, do not trust him. You cannot trust him. So she's
like, who?
Yeah. And
she's like, Sarah says do not trust him.
She's like, wait, hold on. So you know Jess? Because her name is
says,
Sarah. So
I'm getting the...
Yeah, there's this like just Yurei that comes out, and she thinks it's an actual girl who's hiding in the forest, and she tells Aiden, like, I saw somebody and they said that they saw Jess, and then she ran off. And he's like, okay, well, if you did see somebody in this forest in the middle of the night, we need to find Michi, because they probably want to kill themselves. And if it's like a little girl in a schoolgirl uniform, she's a child. Like, we need to, go get help. Yeah. And because she's like, no, I want to keep going deeper. I want to find Jess. I'm here for Jess.
Jess.
I'm here for Jess. Aiden, Jess. And I'm Sarah, but Jess. And Aiden's,
please, Jess.
It's like, no, we have to do right. Like, if a search party comes and looks for the little girl, they'll probably be looking for your sister too.
Jess.
Like, let's go, bitch. And you fell and hurt your hand, bitch. Go, bitch. Go.
She's like, I'll worry about my hand.
Yeah.
MFR.
I'm a woman. You don't worry about my hand. She's just crazy in this movie. Too much. And so they keep going, they keep walking, she keeps getting more delusional, and then the forest, I think it's the forest, the forest pushes a button on Aiden's phone, And it starts playing the conversations that he's recorded of the two of them. Like, she isn't supposed to remember that, but she forgets.
Yeah, I mean, he straight up records the conversation on that first night at the bar. So
and says,
the
like,
fact
can
that
I
she's
do
like,
this?
"You've been recording me," is
strange.
obnoxious. And also, again, I'm
Showing-
like, oh, the forest is made, or is she just a crazy?
Yep.
Crazy.
She's just, again, a crazy.
Is she a crazy?
And so she's like, give me your phone. And I think he is a little like, God, I'm just going to play to her because, you know, if I give her what she wants, and maybe she'll keep walking and we'll eventually get out of this forest. He's like, fine, look at my phone. But she's so crazy that she even thinks that she sees a picture of Jess on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I don't have a picture. And she deletes the recordings that he has. And she's like, even if you were a real reporter, which you're not, because you're just not, because your name is Aiden, and people named Aiden don't report things.
And I'm Sarah.
And you're not.
And I'm here looking for Jess.
I'm deleting your recordings, and we're in a forest, and I should probably not throw your phone, because we might call for help, but I'm gonna.
How dare you record me in a forest?
And so I threw it, and now you're gonna have to go fucking search for it. I'm gonna run away, because I'm scared of you.
Asshole, she says.
So she runs off. It's like dumb to go run off in the forest.
What happens? Girl lands in a hole.
Yeah, fucking, like, there's spirits everywhere, like, telling her, turn around, Sarah, 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 turn around.
She's acting like some low-rent Snow White running around in the forest.
Trying to talk to birds, but she's talking to Yurei, and she falls her ass through an ice cave. Because also, a good thing about this movie that helps us is it always tells us what's going to happen next. We heard at the, you know, like when they were walking in, the Michi was telling them about, like, oh, this is why this forest is called this way, because all of it looks the same. It's a sea of trees. That's why you get lost in here. And then Aiden's like, yeah, and there's a lot of ice caves that have never even been, you know, journeyed into yet. So be careful. You might fall in one. So bitch falls in one.
And she falls in one.
She falls in an ice cave, and she
falls
turns into
really hard.
a White Walker down there. And then she finds a dragon.
And then Cersei comes out
Yep.
and starts fucking her brother Jamie.
And blows up a big church. And
then we're like, oh, this was like a weird extended parallel universe Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So Marjorie this whole time was in the forest. So
was in the Aga.
The forest.
The forest. So, okay, we also get a little shot of Michi arriving again because it's daytime and he's a man of his word,
He's like,
so
I
he
told
returned to the
those
campsite.
fucking crackers to stay put.
And they did it, so now I'm gonna have to find a motherfucking search party.
And they're like, this is
Look
on
at these
you.
bitches.
I'm like, this is on you. I warned you. I'm not risking my life for you fools.
And now we've got Sarah just cave diving, and she hurt her leg, and so she's just like hobbling around, and that
She's in pain. She does. Natalie Dormer sells the pain and misery.
Ah! That's what she does. Ah!
Jess.
Oh, Sarah! Jess! She gets confused on who she is now. She's like, Jess, Sarah!
Do I have the black hair or the blonde hair? Which character am I?
Oh my gosh! Who am I? I don't know anymore. My leg hurts!
Help!
The ghost girl comes back, Hoshiko or whatever. And she's like, hey, you want to go find Jess? Follow me further into this cave. And
yeah, she's down in the cave with her and like, come with me.
And again, she's like, yeah, sure, I'm just going to like follow you. I'm hobbling around. It's obvious to everyone but me that you're not real. I, for some reason, cannot seem to grasp that you are not real. But then she hears Aiden's voice and it kind of brings her back to reality. And she's like, I'm down here. Oh, God, Aiden, I'm down here. Oh, God, you're going to save me.
I'm like, oh, now you want Aiden.
Oh, save me with your big brownie muscles, Aiden, baby. Give it to me. And
slip it in, Aiden.
While he's being a big brawny man and
pulling her out of a hole with
pulling
a
her
rope.
out of a hole, she finds this like little It reminds me of the old timey little viewfinders that you would stick a series of
that's what
pictures
it's called,
in.
a viewfinder.
Well, but this one is a magical one that shows the
shows
scene of her parents dying. So it's not like
and
the
then
ones
at the
that
end,
we had.
Ghost Dad
Yeah.
like scares her in the viewfinder.
Yeah, he there's all these pictures. It's just like, oh, here's a doorknob. Oh, here's the bloody doorknob. Oh, here's your dad popping up in front of this doorknob. Like,
she's like, shit, I don't remember that one.
Yeah. So she does get pulled out. Aiden pulls her out, pulls her in, plugs her right then and there. No,
That's my fantasy.
Yeah, that would be what I hoped happened in the forest. But that is not what happens. She's immediately not grateful for being saved.
After being, like, grateful
Yeah,
that
like
he's back. Now she's like, fuck you, you got me out of that hole.
You got me out of the hole. He tells her, he pulls her out. They're just getting one moment of, respite. And he's like, I found, while I was looking for your ass, because you were down here in this hole, I found a ranger station. I don't know anything about it, but let's go look at it. She's like, what? You found a ranger station? Just so quickly? How dare you? Oh my God, you killed my sister! Fuck off! Jess! So he's like, look, bitch, I'm on my last leg with you. I'm going to give you this knife, and this is to build trust between us. If you have this knife, you'll trust me more. Aiden, I don't understand your logic right here. I don't. Sweetheart, you had the upper hand. You had that knife. If you really wanted to, you could have played and been like, you know what? You're going to walk all the way on this trail. I'm going to hold this knife to your back.
And
we're getting the
fuck
out of here.
No, he's like, here, you take it so you feel safer.
Like, why? She's hobbling around. She has a cut up hand. You're fine. You're the winner.
Yeah.
Get her out of there. And instead, he's like,
he enables her bad behavior.
Yes.
Well, then out of the middle of nowhere, they just find a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, he's like, here's the ranger station.
Turns into a haunted cabin in the woods movie.
It really does, because this little ranger station has that basement and everything, and you're like, wow, there's a lot of...
And I'm like, ranger station? Looks like no one's been here in decades.
And, he's like, I guess the radio won't work, but it's nighttime again, so we'll get, some shelter. And at the ranger station... she can hear behind this door that's locked, her sister's talking to her.
And at first he wants the knife back because he needs to tinker with something. He's like, give me the knife. And she hesitates. And he's like, give me the knife. And she gives him the knife. And then she hears, Jess. And
she hears Sarah.
Oh.
Because her name is Sarah.
No, but she hears Jess saying, Sarah.
Okay. I like how you saved that one.
Sarah.
And so she's standing over there by that door talking to herself.
And so she's over there they're passing notes. Somehow she has a pen and paper back behind the door. She's being held captive, but has a pen and paper. She's writing notes get us out of here. He will kill us both.
You gotta help.
Help.
And she's like, okay, she was like, you gotta get the key. Because she's
Jeff.
just talking to herself. She found a piece of paper and a pen, and she just started writing a note to herself and standing by a door, guys.
And then she gets up, she's like, Aiden, give me the key now.
Give it to me. Oh, yeah, she found
another
little knife.
She found another knife. So the other knife was inconsequential.
It didn't even matter. After all that, it didn't even matter. She finds this little bitty knife. They have a tussle.
Yeah, she's demands you get that door open. He starts to play along, okay, girl.
All right, you're right. Your sister's behind the door. Let me get the key.
They start fighting and fussing and rolling around on the ground.
Fighting
and fussing. And homeboy, Aiden, gets stabbed in the gut. He falls on top of her knife.
Her heart. He gets it in the heart.
Oh, in the heart.
Yeah.
That's right, in the heart.
Heart and lung area, because he immediately, when he's laying on her, he dies, he spits up blood. So that's why I'm like, no, it's
awful.
up there, it's not the gut.
Terrible.
She killed him.
And you're like, Aiden.
She murdered him.
That is a waste of some D.
I know! He's so hot! What the fuck? They were supposed to be there another night? Man, just lay it down on that D
I'm like, I
instead.
know you got a husband, but you alone in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, what happens
You
in
scared.
Akigahara stays in Akigahara. Am I right? Or
Right,
am
ladies.
I fucking right?
Right, ladies and gentlemen.
All the Yuris come out and I'm like, come on! Let's get this party started! So Aiden is dead, and magically the basement door opens. And what's behind it, Josh?
Nothing.
Is it Jess?
It's not Jess.
It's not Jess. It's her fucking head again. She's like going down into the basement, seeing her dead mother laying on the floor.
And she's like, oh God, Daddy!
Seeing her
Daddy,
sister
no!
as like a little 7-year-old, and she's like, hide your eyes, Jess. I'm gonna be the one that looks this time.
And what's funny is that they give poor Natalie Dormer the worst lines in this part. She's literally saying like, Daddy! Daddy, don't!
Daddy, don't! Let me go, Daddy! And he's like holding on to her wrist, the dead dad that's not
we're
there.
going through a tunnel. I'm going to do shaving and haircut.
Oh,
they didn't do it back.
Nobody shaved and haircut us back.
Oh.
Oh, we are going under this tunnel.
It's a tradition. You do shave and a haircut on your horn in a tunnel, and someone's supposed to
And then
honk
you're
back.
supposed to honk back.
But those two cars did not honk back.
Assholes.
They probably thought we were just lunatics honking at them. But
Yeah,
okay.
but did they grow up not doing
We're
a shave
just
and haircut?
lunatics honking at them, so they're right.
Okay, so where were we though with the lunatics that were
Oh, God.
honking? Oh yeah,
Shit.
she's down that basement, and Daddy,
Daddy
who isn't there, he's not there.
not.
He's not there. She's just down in a basement
It's
now.
all in her head.
It's all
The
in her
Yurei
head.
are getting to her. The forest is getting to her.
He grabs her wrist, and she starts trying to cut his fingers to get him to let go. What do you think she's really cutting, guys?
Mm-hmm. So she gets away, and she's running, and she's right behind Jess. She sees Jess.
Well, and guys, actually, it is Jess, because when she's like cutting her wrists up and stuff, we get this like cut to in the forest, and we see Jess, and she's just hunkered down. She's like by a fire, and we know it's her because she's got her black hair. That's how we know that it's the sister. It's Jess because she has the
Black
dark
hair.
hair. If it was Sarah, she'd have the blonde hair.
Just
But
the
it's
same moles
Jess.
of blemishes.
Yeah.
But I won't
But-
call them blemishes because Queen Natalie Dormer
Yeah.
does not. Sorry.
Yeah,
does
she just-
not have.
Yeah, she just got she has her
beauty marks.
beauty marks on her face, and so but they're identical twins, Josh. They
Yeah.
have everything the same.
Yeah.
They
My
had
mole-
to differentiate with their
My
hair.
mole is your mole,
And
your mole is my mole.
mine. We've got two moles, and that's just fine.
Oh God.
What the fuck?
I'm
You
glad
just
you're still
made
with us,
this
guys.
Okay, yeah. So Jess is actually in the forest, and she hears the screams of her sister, and she says, "Sarah, Jess, Sarah,
Jess.
So they're
Jess!
running after each other. It's like Sarah can see Jess, and Jess can see Sarah, but they can't seem to see each other. And guess what else is happening? The search party, Sarah. We've got all of these
There's lights
flashlights
flashing everywhere.
and we've got Jess running and Sarah running, and Sarah's dripping blood, and we've got Jess who's running into flashlights.
And finally, Jess runs into people. She runs into
Yep.
Michi and Sarah's husband.
Yes, Rob's there because he was like, "Girl, you didn't answer your phone, so I had to fly all the way over here to Japan."
And
to
at
help
first
with
she's
the
like,
search
"Don't touch me,
party."
don't touch me." She's like, "It's me, it's Rob. Rob, is that you?"
Rob, and then he's like, "Oh wait, Jess, where's Sarah?" And Jess is like, "Sarah, Sarah's here."
She came for me.
What? And Rob's like, "What?"
She came for me. He's like, "Well, no, she usually comes for me, but."
Twins. So here,
Twins. So here I am.
here I am. Where's your sister?
And she's like, "I don't
"Oh
know.
no."
I haven't seen her." And then we cut to Sarah,
Yeah.
who's standing there with her bloody wrist, and it's like dawning on her, like,
Yeah.
oh shit! And she's
Her
flashing
path is
back.
being blocked.
She's flashing back to
The basement.
the basement when she was cutting her dad's fingers off, and she's realizing, oh, I was just cutting my own wrist.
Oh no.
And then she's standing there bleeding out, and then all of a sudden hands grab her feet.
Yep, the ghost Yuri girl, Hoshaki or whatever. I'm so sorry, I can't seem to remember. Hashiko. And she's like got her hand out. And she's like, "No, you will not go. You will die!" die! And the hands come out from the ground and pull her down. She's like, no! Oh my God, Jess!
Jess! Jess!
Last bit of anything. Hashiko, please go get Jess. No! And we get Jess in the car.
She's like, Sarah, poor Sarah.
Oh, poor Sarah. She's got her hand on her ear, almost like she's taking a call, or like she's a secret service agent. She's like,
I'm listening in for...
I can't hear it anymore.
She's like, I'm actually a wind talker. I work...
Oh, Jess.
I'm decoding codes from the Nazis right now.
Hold on, wait a second. I'm getting a message. My sister's dead. Yes.
And
it's
she just
gone
goes
silent.
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah.
Not like,
Oh,
my sister's dead!
Yeah, their reactions to each other's potential
Sarah.
deaths are what's hilarious.
Guess I gotta pack my things and go see my dead sister in the forest. And then she's just, oh, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah,
Poor
you drove all
girl.
that way. Oh, Sarah.
You silly little thing.
Gosh.
Came here for me.
Came
and then,
here.
Oh,
Little old me.
Oh,
Came here for little
oh,
old me.
Sarah.
And then the water skier goes by one last time and she's like, sorry about your dead twin sister!
I love that water skier.
She ends it.
kind of my
It ends
favorite.
with her going by, and no, even worse, this movie ends with us getting one last look into the forest. Michi is like looking in there, and he's like, he thinks he sees the outline of someone, and it's
it rushes
Sarah.
at the camera.
Yeah, the camera like speeds up, and it's her, and she looks all Yurei like. She's got.
Like, you leave Michi alone. He was the only person who knew
Yeah.
what he was talking about in this movie.
And she's all baby dead in the forest. She's gonna become one of the Yurei of Okigahara Forest.
She is the Yurei.
She is the Yurei. Now the Yurei is her. We are in the mountain.
Yeah,
My ears have popped.
We are winding around the Appalachian Mountains up here on Skyline Drive and the Shenandoah National Park. It is gorgeous. This whole time we've been talking to you, it's been almost distracting because it's
lush.
GD beautiful.
And twice I thought almost that there was a bear, because there are bears up here, and I want to see a bear so bad, but
I read some of the Shenandoah National Park has one of the highest density of black bears.
And we have seen
We have
them.
seen one. I've seen them a couple times up here, and we saw one on the side of the road last time. Not dead. He was just walking.
He was
on
just
the side of the
walking,
road.
and everybody was just watching him, being a majestic little baby bear that he is, because he is so beautiful and wonderful. But twice I thought I saw a bear, and it wasn't anything; it was a rock. so
Hopefully
rock
we don't
and shadow.
see any bears up close and personal on our hikes today.
No,
And hopefully we don't see any Yurei.
No,
we're getting
no.
a little closer and closer to our destination. We're not even going quite halfway on Skyline Drive because, like we said, it's 80 or more miles, and you're going at it like a 35 mile per hour pace. So it takes a while to get up here. We've been talking for
It's all windy.
a while and only now hitting the 36 mile mark. And
ours is like the 46th mile mark,
Yeah.
something like that.
and we got up here pretty early today, so traffic is nice. I'm not having to pull over for a lot of people because I'm going too slow or whatever, or vice versa. I'm not mad that someone's going slow in front of me. So, but we're here.
appreciate it.
We're going to go enjoy a nice hike in the forest, and we'll come back and tell you all about it in just a few seconds and give you our knife ratings and final thoughts and favorite scenes on the movie.
Okay, see you
So-
in just a tick.
Stay tuned. We're coming right back.
Bye.
Hey guys, we are back.
Hi, hi, hi.
And we're coming around the mountain when she comes. We'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
That's all your own.
Yeah, you're not going to join me?
No.
Okay, damn.
I mean, you're getting a little hunky-dory. I mean, we are
How
driving through
embarrassing.
the mountains of West Virginia right now.
We are, and it is actually the next day after our big hike in the Shenandoah National Park.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a great hike. It was one of the best ones we've had, I think. And we've gone there several times. This was maybe our third, fourth major hike where we actually paid attention to where we were going.
Yeah, we had
and
to follow the big trails.
big trails.
And they forked off.
we had
and
to
we
put
gotta-
on our big boy pants and follow those big boy trails.
Yes, we didn't have to gender specify the trails or the pants. We
But
could
I
just
did.
put our
It was
big pants on
It
and
was
gone
a
on the
choice
big trails.
we made for comedy.
Oh. Okay, yeah, so we did that. You guys want to hear about our hike? Good, because we're going to tell ya.
Yeah. First of all, just a little bit about the Shenandoah National Park. It was designated in 1930 what?
1935. Established 1935. Beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's everything. You got mountains. You got animals. You've got bears. You've got people. You got hiking trails. You got waterfalls. You got picnic areas. You got some murders have happened. I mean, come on, life. You
People
know?
have disappeared.
People have gone missing. They've never shown back up. That's what a national park is for. It's 105 continuous miles of driving called Skyline Drive, guys.
It's incredible. We've only done really about 50 of it coming from the north, heading south on Skyline Drive.
And then rounded back.
We've never gone the whole 105 miles. What's funny, when we drive from Oklahoma to Northern Virginia, we typically see way
Exits
far
for it,
south exits for the southbound entrance, and then it's like maybe another hour and a half to where we're getting going in Northern Virginia, and you see the exits for
the actual town that we need to exit for.
Yeah. So it's a long drive.
Yes, long
But beautiful.
Drive. Oh, so I mean, super tall mountains with trees just littered on them, and I mean littered because they're just thrown everywhere. It's like a fucking mess.
It's a real special and spatial part of the country. If you've never been to the Shenandoah Valley or Northern Virginia, or seen the Appalachians or the Blue Ridge Mountains, or driven through West Virginia, Tennessee, any of those Appalachian Smoky Mountains.
Schumacher. It's got the Shenandoah River going through it, and it's got your mom. It's got your mom.
My mom.
All of your moms are there.
Oh wow, that makes it extra special.
They're already there taking pictures.
But it has amazing hiking trails, and like we said, we've done a few of them. And yesterday we did the Hawksbill Gap.
Yeah, there's about, I think I read in our hiking book, there's over 500 miles of hiking to be had on the different trails, and they are at different mile markers, and they connect together and make longer excursions.
Connect to the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, the Appalachian Trail takes up nearly most of it. There's a certain part, I can't remember, it's either an arm or something that it's where it feeds into Skyline Drive. But most of it is the Appalachian Trail. We were on parts of the Appalachian Trail.
And I want to say a lot of the trails that we've taken, parts of the Appalachian Trail wind through. And I think a lot of it's located in that central part, because that's where we always go hiking. So I know it specifically goes through there.
Yeah, it joins
but
up at least through there.
it goes through most of the park.
Because the Appalachians go all the way down into Georgia.
And what's fun, you can do all kinds of levels of hike. You can go do an hour hike. There's children-friendly hikes. There's hikes if you want to be out for 10 plus hours hiking all day. There's hikes where at the end you got to get a shuttle to take you back, because then it would basically be
because that hike just itself is 12 miles.
Yeah. So once you reach the end, you're probably not going to do the rest
able to make it back.
Yeah. So.
And ascent and descent is big. A lot of those trails are all about climbing up the mountains and coming back down them. So you're using all of your muscles.
So do your research before you go. Figure out what trails are best for you. We kind of did the same thing. We bought a little book, and we figured out, okay, we could do about a 3-mile trail today. It's been COVID. We haven't been working out as much.
Yeah.
Maybe last year we could have done this 5-mile trail that I wanted to do, that I talked myself out of and said, Josh, be realistic. You can't do that right now.
Well, we also we had walking shoes. We didn't. I think we've already kind of talked about next year coming back later and doing a few more trails.
Maybe not for the show.
No, not for the show, but just visiting.
For funsies.
Getting some gear built up too.
But
if
you're ever in DC or Baltimore, the Shenandoah National Park's about an hour west, maybe a little more from Baltimore, give or take, So jaunt over, go get yourself some good hiking, some beautiful views, some of the most spectacular views you'll ever see, for real. Do yourself a favor. Go to the Shenandoah National Park.
Yeah. I second that. I echo that. Yeah. Let's get into So when we were on our walk, though, Josh, there were several Yurei that we witnessed throughout the forest.
Oh my
and
gosh.
they would like pop out of the trees. Even when we were going on our hike, we saw the water skier lady. She showed up and
She's like, hey,
she
fuck
was
you.
like, she
She was mad.
Yeah.
Well, she had been taken over by Yurei.
Yeah, so she was like, I'm not fucking sorry about your dead grandma!
But yeah, we did, a 3-mile hike. It was called the Hawksbill Gap, and we summited. It's apparently
Yes.
the highest point you can hike to in
4,050 feet.
4,050 feet.
It was so tall.
And it was a gorgeous hike. It was a lot.
We climbed.
It's a lot of uphill and then a lot of downhill.
Did at least 700 feet of climbing is what my watch was saying we were doing, and it calculated up to about 12 flights of stairs
or so.
climbed or whatever.
Okay.
So
It seemed like more, but
well, I mean that's
but then coming down, like sometimes coming down is worse. Like that gives your ankles a workout.
yeah. Well, and that was like, a slow ascent, about 9% increase up the mountain. We were going up a mountain and walking up miles of a mountain. So
Speaking of which, we're going up a mountain right now.
Yeah, the car's like, oh, and it's gorgeous over here, guys. We've got even some big ass windmills.
Yeah, we're currently
it's
in
really picturesque.
We're in West Virginia right now, heading up a mountain, you can probably hear my poor little sound booth driving up the mountain right now. Chugging along, and she kind of sounds like a spaceship. But
oh, here we go. We're like Jeff and Bezos and the Virgin guy, just going off into space. Here we go.
I just wish we were billionaires.
Yeah.
But right now the views are incredible, almost as incredible as yesterday. But yeah. Let's get into the movie. The Forest, starring Natalie Dormer, 2016.
Let's talk about, I guess, our favorite scenes. What you like so much about this movie, Josh?
Yeah,
what
I gotta
part
say,
was great for you?
No, I don't know. I guess when she falls through the forest floor into the ice cave thing. That's cool, I guess. She falls. There's also, we forgot to mention earlier, the scene where the body's going downstream and they stop to look at it, and then she's like, wait, you're going the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, it's like
no,
a
we were
change
going
of...
down the stream, and then the stream, yeah,
it's all flip and reverse it.
They flip it and reverse it, and... yeah, I mean, this movie really does not bring the suspense. It really tries to be like J-horror. I think even one of the producers, my mind is blanking right now, but I think produced a lot of, quote-unquote J-horror, Japanese horror.
Yeah.
And it tries to go for that appeal and for that sensibility, that aesthetic,
yeah.
But it doesn't ever reach the atmosphere of some of the great J-horrors. It just falls flat. I'm never really scared. I'm never really worried that much for Natalie Dormer. And like I said, I adored her on Game of Thrones. I like her as an actress. But the script that these people are given to work with is poor.
I couldn't agree more. Kind of echo in on what you're saying and just admit that I don't really have a favorite scene because I didn't enjoy these characters too much. I didn't really know these characters, so I don't know if really it was just too compelling.
Yeah.
What's funny is that, yeah, Aiden's right. Your story does sound gripping, except from my point of view, it's not too much.
It needed a strong rewrite. Yeah. It needed
more
someone,
folklore involvement.
Yeah, I don't know. It just really seemed like an Eastern story told through a Western eyes, but not even in a compelling fish out of water way. You don't even get that. She's just there in Japan and is talking to everybody.
We're hoping. I forgot to look up and see if there's any.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
but I mean,
there?
she's quote unquote in Japan, but everyone's speaking English to her. There's no even a sense of fish out of water that might have even brought another layer of mystery or intrigue.
Yes, and also we know that English, it is very friendly over there in
That is
Japan.
true.
English is, there are signs, and they do have like Japanese and in English. I'm just saying, I don't really assume
But it's
that
kind of like
everybody.
the second she gets there,
Yeah.
she meets a white dude,
Yes.
hangs out with the white guy. She's speaking to everybody in
And
English.
he conveniently has all the help that's like needed for her. Like,
Even when she's at the school and some of the students are speaking, they're learning English, and she's able to communicate with the principal that's there. Like, there's
Yeah.
still never this, like, I don't know. I just everything kind of falls flat. I hate that we've kind of done 2 negative reviews back to back. Jaws 3D is definitely way more fun to watch than The Forest. The Forest is only, an hour and a half, but it's just dull.
yeah, really drags, and the even the end scene when everything's kind of coming to a grand finale, and you think like, oh, they're gonna see each other. We don't even get that. They don't even allow us like the Sarah and Jess reunion. It's like, I don't know why I want that to happen, but I guess like
Because maybe it would have been
It
more
would have been-
compelling
yeah,
to see them
like,
struggling
at least-
to find each other at the end, and maybe they
To-
almost see each other, and then something happens, and then you find, it just, there's a lot of ways they could have played with this.
the only time we see those 2 characters together is in flashback, and I don't know.
I just
don't
feel like
even
this movie could have been
believe-
darker and weirder and just more gripping than
Yeah.
it is.
I guess I don't even understand what's so bad about the Jess character. You know, like what we never get to know her. We never understand.
We
not
just know she
like
had
her
anxiety
sadness. Yeah.
and is maybe running away from her memories.
Yes. But,
Like, and she has black hair. She
Yeah.
dyed her hair black.
yeah, it's Natalie Dormer.
She's so crazy.
But with black hair now, and so she's obviously more troubled because she has darker hair. Yeah, and
She's not blonde anymore. She's troubled.
she's really
I
troubled.
come running anytime she needs me.
And kind of the very dismissiveness
Jess.
of all of the characters in Japan who are just like, oh, like the police officers calling are just like, oh yeah, she went
Hey,
to the forest, she's
I
probably
think she's dead. Most people that go in there die.
Yeah.
Hey, just thought I'd let you know. Bye.
Just-
And then she's even like, hey, husband, I'm going to Japan. My sister might be dead, okay?
The
It's
fact
like
that-
this forest thing.
There's a visitor center that has enough dead bodies down in it that they have a holding place so that people, when they do come to look for them, just that to me, I'm like, doesn't that scream you of a problem? Like,
Yeah.
that
But,
yeah,
you
like
know,
you
I-
mentioned
that's
earlier,
the other thing.
suicide isn't taken serious in this.
And it's very prevalent, I think, in Japanese society. Sorry if I'm talking out of turn, but a lot of people find it like honorable. Like if you've dishonored your family, a lot of suicide I know is pretty prevalent in Japan. But they still are a little flippant with it. And
it's like, it's just the problem they have. Da-da.
like
So
I said,
even
this movie
like,
could have been darker, more realistic. Like I said, even weirder with like how they played with the idea of the forest controlling your mind.
there were some parts, like the guy that gets cut down,
Mhm.
and he looks really scary. I know he's based off of a photograph that was actually taken of somebody they found in the forest called like the half-faced man or the faceless man. It's some kind of name like that. But even playing on that a little bit more, like having a scary person in the forest with you and lurking around, and I'm not scared of the little girl ghost.
No, it's just overdone.
And
it's kind of again a cliche,
yes.
a little
little
Japanese
tropey.
girl in a schoolgirl
girl
dress
uniform,
being
yeah.
creepy. Like it's
And she's not creepy, just like telling her don't trust him,
Yeah.
and then luring her into the cave. Like, okay, it's boring.
she's never really menacing, and I think you're supposed to feel menaced by her. Like that maybe she's
This is just a whole bunch of a movie of like
missed
don't
opportunity.
do.
The movie's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I would
Sad
love
that
to
it got
see
made.
a better movie on the subject
Yes.
one day. It could be a great like Exorcist type movie. I'm not saying a possession movie, but I just mean in style and tone and
Yeah.
elegance and grace.
She's beauty and she's grace. She's Miss Akigahara Forest. Okay, so
Knife
this is a
rating.
first. We don't have favorite scenes.
Yeah, I guess when she falls in the hole. but-
Yeah, well, I don't have a favorite scene. I
Yeah.
don't think that's ever happened either.
So
that
knife
we just-
rating. Here's my thing. I'm gonna do 1.5, only because this movie is more tolerable than The Happening, which we watched last year, and I believe we both gave that like a 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So I'll give this a slight edge because it's at least, I believe, shorter than The Happening. If not, it felt shorter than The Happening.
Yep.
And I think all things will be judged on if I like it better than The Happening.
That's the bar. That's the measure.
Yeah.
Golly. I'm there with you. I'm giving a knife and a shank. Yeah, I'm going to give a 1.5 knives.
There we go, people. It's not our favorite.
It's not our
We
favorite.
hope next time we see you, it'll be Frightmare, unless something else happens. If not, we'll come up with another episode for you. But hopefully the rest of the year, we're not hating on movies.
I will say the movie was decent fun to cover. Where we went, it was, we had good
good
views.
time.
That was a good reason to get to go on a lovely hike in the forest. And so
That's true.
thanks, opportunity movie that we got. But yeah, if you guys want to catch it, check it out. It's on Netflix. Yeah, so next episode is going to be episode 68.
Yes.
And yeah,
Frightmare. If all goes as planned.
If all goes as planned. Frightmare botches.
So, yes,
see you
guys.
there. If you're going to be there, we're going to be there. See you there.
And
Question, let us know.
remember, find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok.
Twitter.
All the places. But most importantly, go give us
A 5-star rating.
5-star rating and jot down a little review. It really helps us.
Say something nice.
Yeah, say
Make
something.
it personal. Tell us your name. We'll call you. I'd love to give you like a little holler.
Yeah, we'll give you a little.
next little episode.
Yes. It really helps us out. Thank you guys. See
You're
you
the best.
next episode.
Peace.
Bye.